Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake with myself, Jake Storielli, David Mendelson. We will talk a little bit of this weekend because I had a pretty cool one. And I know we did, a little while back, did one of those segments and the people seemed to like it. If you don't know, I was in Arizona for the weekend, Phoenix, Scottsdale. Had a pretty badass time at the Diamondbacks game. Met a lot of awesome, incredible people. Baseball-wise, we had Jolly on last episode. We did our now famous tier list episode. One of the number one comments was, shouldn't wild card would be awesome be above mid? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think there's some mental gymnastics to get there. And it just balanced out the chart. More importantly, so if you guys have a problem with symmetry, let me know. And then I think I want to talk a little Dodgers because that's, if I had to do storylines around baseball, I'm not doing Wander. Let's see what everything happens.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's not actually a lot of information out there. So
right now we got a couple loose social media posts. It seems awful, and if it's true, it's the worst ever. If not, we'll deal with all that when we get there. So if you're here for that for some reason, let me do my weekend a little bit because it was pretty cool, and thank you guys for kind of helping let me be a part of it. My annual fantasy football golf weekend, year 8. Yeah, pretty crazy. We've done Denver, Dallas, OKC, Tulsa, a lake in Oklahoma, Eufaula, Park City, and this year was, that's 7. Did we double up somewhere? Park City.
Wasn't Park City again last year?
I don't know. We doubled up.
There's another one.
There might have been an OKC. I forget. But we got to Scottsdale this year. It'd been a joke for a while because when we did a lot of OKC, Tulsa, most of the guys are from that region. We were laughing like, hey, we should probably go somewhere cool at some point. And Scottsdale was always the joke because that's a cool place. We booked it, and then we were like, wow, it's probably going to be hot as hell. Scottsdale's August. That's kind of as dumb as it got. It was fine. Knock on wood. We did okay. Did the golf early in the morning. And then, we were done golfing by noon, so the place wasn't at peak heat. I want to talk about the Diamondbacks game. Diamondbacks, Padres, Snell on the bump. That was all kind of secondary for me. It was 25th anniversary weekend for the Diamondbacks, so they had a lot going on there. It was also Phoenix Sun and Phoenix Mercury night at the stadium. So we got to be on the field pregame. Some guys for you guys to like. You should already like Torey Lovello. He's awesome. He's very much about what we're about as a company. We were going to do a Torey Lovello grid with him because he's been on 6 teams. He was busy, and that's fine because he's the manager of the team, I guess. So whatever. We'll get that next time. Jake McCarthy is a friend and a fellow Jake. So is Jake Cronenworth. Mentioned that at the end of Talking Baseball. Jake Cronenworth, pretty show move. He was stretching by the batting cage. I was over by the dugout. Rolled a baseball over to me, hit me in the ankle. Like perfect toss. Like something we would do in the warehouse and do for 10 minutes. He did first try. So that was kind of frustrating at first. But then he came up, nice guy. Into our stuff. If I remember, he followed all of our stuff on the same day.
Yeah.
And it seemed very much like it was agent driven or something like that. Usually if someone does that, it's kind of like, oh.
Someone just took the account.
Yeah, they're just trying to network a little bit. But no, he was kind of about it. He was chilling. He's having a good August. He was hype about that. Met Manny Machado. Big dude. Signed autographs longer than any other player. So if you naturally hate Manny Machado, which a lot of people still do from some of the things he did when he was literally a kid playing baseball. I don't know. I think you can let that go. Went over, gave him a weird, like, hey, man, like, I do baseball stuff. Nice to meet you. Would love to get a picture. He said, okay. Shook my hand. Broke it.
Nice picture.
Nice pick. Pick came out good. He is big. He's big. I know, that can't be my concern in a lot of pictures, especially when I'm also meeting WNBA players on a given night. But looking back at the picture, I was like, wow, Manny's diesel.
He's been compared to A-Rod the whole way.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it.
Big body. Diana Taurasi. I am from Connecticut. I'm a proud Connecticutian. Connecticut tie. Walked up to her and I was like, hey, I'm from Connecticut. Like, think you're so awesome, blah, blah. She's like, oh, thank you. She was an absolute chiller. We started broing out. We talked some Connecticut restaurants. Dropped the fact that I was friends with Ruocco. Because, he's got some strong WNBA ties. He's connected to that old crew, so that gave me a little bit of street cred. She mentioned something that I don't think I can mention about Ryan Ruocco. I guess that stays here. Sorry. She was awesome. She threw out one of the best first pitches I've ever seen. And if I'm going to enthuse, is that a word? I was told I was going to play a mid-inning game against Diana Taurasi. And I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever been told in my life. So, yes, a million times yes. Our connection with the Diamondbacks hit me up a couple days before and was like, Taurasi's not going to do it. Sophie Cunningham is. I was like, hey, full disclosure, need you to know, as a proud Connecticutian, you've just shattered my heart a little bit. Diana Taurasi is close to a religion. An actual superhero figure in Connecticut. Happy I still got to meet her before the game. Got the pick, all that. Sophie Cunningham is electric. Whether you're into the WNBA or you're not. Similar comparisons to Cole Tucker. Just energy, just like happiness, brightness with like a silly hint of, almost don't take life too seriously, even though we're living like one of the coolest lives you could live. When I told the Snakes about how sad I was that it wasn't going to be Diana Taurasi, which, just a reminder, I never do anything like that. I pretty much roll with any punch I'm given. They were like, do not be concerned. Sophie's the best. She was super cool. So that was a blast. That was an absolute blast. Had a lot of fun there. Got to talk to Luis Gonzalez for a while. Follow-up, also the man. Wish I knew he was getting inducted into the Snakes Ring of Honor the next day. Him and Randy Johnson. Nice company. What do we got on Luis Gonzalez's career home runs? Where do you think we land? Tricky one.
I want to say he's in like the 350 range.
I like that. Give me 401.
Couple huge years, right?
354 BBD. Well done.
Ah.
Yeah, a couple big boy years. 57 and 01. Wow.
That's the only year above 31.
Yeah, that whole stretch is pretty nice though. I mean,
they're all good years. Just that's obviously a huge outlier.
Yeah.
Total homers here.
Third in MVP. 314, 405, 969 over a 5-year span. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, he was chilling, hung out, broed out, full conversation about life. Oh, this will hit the baseball nerd core of a lot of people here. 25th anniversary weekend. They invited back all their old employees. Top to bottom, farm to table, soup to nuts. Big guy with like a power goatee type facial hair walks up to me. Oh, man, it's so nice to meet you. My son's such a big fan of your guys' stuff. Who was it? Former closer, J.J. Putz.
Oh.
J.J. Putz, 189 career saves in the show.
Oh, he gets put on some grids.
Walked up to little old me and said, big fan of your guys' stuff. That was really cool. That was a really cool moment for me. 45 saves, 2011. Arizona. Get some outs, J.J. Putz. Man, and did he have a power goatee when he played? Go look at that on Baseball Reference. All in all, pretty incredible experience at the stadium. Yeah, almost not one bad interaction. I'm obviously biased, but I think the Diamondbacks are an incredible organization. I think they get it. And yeah, got a little Longo. He was getting ready for game time. Corbin Carroll, like within an hour and a half of game time, is kind of a no-fly zone. He's getting dialed in. So I kind of like that a lot, if I'm being honest. Perdomo, not the same way. Said what up a couple minutes before game time. And he caught the first pitch from Taurasi. So,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, different change of pace. San Diego blew him out that game. But then the Snakes went on to win the next two. All in all, incredible experience that Friday. A game I like to play with people, and maybe you can mix it into your own lexicon of sorts. Just ask someone what's one of the best days of their life. You'll see people's wheels really start to spin. Because obviously you get the marriages and stuff like that.
And you have a kid that gets high on the list.
Which I'm going to be honest to people. My wedding day was a little stressful at the start. It was actually a lot of stressful. Like, you just want to make sure everything goes right. And I don't know. Got to make sure you don't, like, get hit in the face with a door so you don't have, like, a red mark on your face and stuff.
You're in, like, bubble wrap mode for first half of it.
Once the wedding and party really starts to go, it is a special time because it's all your friends and family in one area. And the stress of the wedding had passed me at that point. I don't know. That's definitely on the all-time list for me. Played some golf in the morning, a little two-man scramble. Finished third. We fought like hell. We might as well get better every year. And then Snakes game into dancing and out. Boondocks in Scottsdale. I mean, I was a little bit of a target because I had a Jake Diamondbacks jersey on me. So if you were in the baseball world, a couple fellas said hi. Really explored the dance floor. All-time day for me, which led into golf and fantasy football draft the next day. So I don't know. Let me encourage, if you have a fantasy football group of friends or your golfers or whatever, get it on the board every year and just do it. Because again, year 8, hopefully it's something we're doing as we become old men. That was a chunk of my weekend. The flight back resulted with a Yankees game with one of the worst losses of all time. Quite literally as I was deboarding. D. Gordon? So yeah, I don't know. Just quick 1 minute at Yankees update. Our whole office is fried and kind of burnt out and almost hoping for the season to end. So Yankee fans have got there. That's fun. They play the Braves this week. I think the other thing of note, it's mid-August, August 14th. The game in the American League, and I think everything on the American League is still on the table. The Baltimore Orioles continue to have the best record. Nobody has them as their World Series pick. Just being honest with you, and, you know, if my birds are listening to this, like, use it as fuel. I wouldn't even say it's me being shots fired. I'm just go around the office. Who's going to win? We should do that as a short video. Might even write that down. Who's going to win the World Series? Because I don't think anyone would pick The Office. Maybe Kevin because he worked there and he's silly.
Yeah, if like somebody's picking it and like gonna have a smile on their face while they do it.
Orioles easily have the best record. Nobody's picking the Minnesota Twins. They haven't won a playoff series Is it since '02 or something?
Mm-hmm.
Something ridiculous. Texas Rangers, 8-2 in their last 10. People would pick the Texas Rangers. Their lineup mashes. They have the high-end starting pitching. Traded for Chapman on the back end. Will Smith gets got yesterday. People would pick Texas.
They're the team that's going to be like the trendy pick.
Who's the number one team? Is it Houston just because of their experience? I know we've done this the past couple weeks.
It's kind of been like the line in baseball that it's like Rays are just the best top to bottom team right now.
Rays have not been as impressive, and we'll see what goes on with the Wander Franco news, but I don't know. I mean, Texas, Tampa, Houston, Baltimore, Toronto. I don't know. The American League feels wide open. Like if Seattle gets in, wouldn't you say Seattle has just as good of a shot as Baltimore?
If they're in and hot.
That's a
Baltimore,
little unfair.
Baltimore's got a tough.
A little unfair.
They're a tough on-paper team because we haven't seen this group in the playoffs yet, which is a big part of any prediction. And then, like, just on paper, I don't think there's a playoff rotation you're going to pick Baltimore's rotation over, and that's just being honest.
Right, and that's how a lot of people look at playoff series, unless you have a crazy elite offense, which their offense isn't crazy elite, just on the season. I think Trev noted today they only have one hitter with an OPS in the 8s, and it's Rhino Hearn.
To be fair to the Birds, they're one good day at the office from 5 guys in the 8s, but it's not a crazy offensive powerhouse that you would think just based on where they rank within the league.
So the American League, honestly, for me, it's Houston going by track record, and then it's wide open. Like, you can talk me into Toronto easily. If Seattle finds a way in, you could talk me into them. Tampa, sure. Texas, yeah. And even, if I'm lumping those teams, I'm going to lump Baltimore. That, to be as rude as I possibly can, and don't send this to Trev, I think the only team I'd rule out would be Minnesota, which is pretty brutal, and I don't even like myself saying that. We had an evolution in the National League over the weekend. Atlanta has been dominant. It feels like they're playing even better. Their lineup is cracked. They're pitching top to bottom. They have been the National League favorites all season. Philly's always going to have a little bit of juice. They went to the World Series last year. They're a talented team, but I don't know. Philly's going to be in the wild card, and if they lose their 3-gamer, no one would be shocked. No one would be shocked at all. San Francisco and Miami, if we do that John Boy Media, who's going to win the World Series video, I don't think you're getting any draft picks out of them. Cubs, Cincy, and Arizona are your wild card teams on the outside looking in. I don't know if you're getting any of them. Someone might give you a Cubs. They do have steals. Stroman comes back.
Their top to bottom pitching staff, and there's a little second half of magic.
We're talking about a 61-57 team. That's a game off from the Yankees. So I know it's felt better, but no one's giving you that. In the National League, it's been the Braves. You could see people wanting to talk themselves into Milwaukee because they have elite pitching, but the hitting's always been a question. The Dodgers have fully joined the party. They've won 8 of their last... they've won their last 8. 9-1 in their last 10. They're 71-46. That is an elite record. And I think we talked about this on Talking Baseball, and what the rotation looks like matters. I know the 2021 Braves ended up throwing out some guys out there that, were kids just trying to get through an inning or two, which, that's not your normal playoff formula. You need guys, and for what felt like a ton of this season, The Dodgers' rotation was Michael Grove, Emmett Sheehan, Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller's still there. But now that rotation is Kershaw, Lynn, Gonsolin, Urias. Lance Lynn has been very good with the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw just continues to be good. Great, excuse me. Urias, I'm going to figure out one day how to quantify my underrated baseball players list. Urias has an argument. Like, in a way, he never gets talked about when you mention, like, the elite in baseball. But when October comes, if he's starting or closing, that guy's good. Like, as good as it gets.
Yeah. And we kind of did a whole episode of this show earlier this year about, like, the best young starters, and I think the origin of that idea was like, hey, remember that Urias is one of the best pitchers and he's really young? Like, he was sort of what got that going.
He's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is going to be a big contract. He just turned 27 2 days ago. He's not having a lights out year, but I'm not betting against him.
He's not timing his contract year the best.
He still can.
That's a lot of the game. Strong 2 months and he's back.
Let's see. In his last 18 innings pitched, a 1.5 ERA. Yeah, he had a rough patch in the middle there. 8 earned run and a 6 earned run. Hey, finish strong, Urias. Make sure you get that bag. And wouldn't bet against that guy come October. The Dodgers are full-blown here. Their offense has felt kind of weird this year outside of, Freddie Freeman is one dotting. He's incredible. Mookie Betts has a 968 OPS, which is one of his best seasons ever. JD has mauled all year. Will Smith has mauled all year. After that, we had Muncy, who had an incredible start, then he faded out. Same with James Outman, the rookie. And Trev noted on today's Talking Baseball, and I think I agree with him, they need James Outman to be a dude, and I think he can. To have a 797 OPS at this point of the season, 110 games, 14 homers, 14 stolen bases, that's dude-ish. Their offense feels like it's rounding into form. What they did, I think I'm going to compare to the 21 Braves a little bit, which is obnoxious because I do that too much. But them adding Kike Hernandez, who's been great with them, can play every position. So if you need a body, whether injury or trying to spark the lineup or do whatever, you're good. Platoon potential there. Like, this cracked me up today. When I opened Fangraphs and I saw the Dodgers bench is listed as Ahmed Rosario, who they have listed as infielder, outfielder. Chris Taylor, who they have listed as infielder, outfielder. Kike Hernandez, who they have listed as outfielder, infielder. They flipped it for him. I don't know why. I thought that was kind of silly. The Dodgers are set up for Dodger ball. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are going to be elite. Will Smith is going to be really good. Max Muncy is going to be good. JD Martinez will be good. Out of Peralta, Hayward, Outman, Miggy Rojas, Rosario, Taylor, and Kike Hernandez. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of those 7 guys, they basically need 2 to be good come October.
Whichever 2 are hot.
That would give you a lineup of 7. And you've got platoon games there.
Yeah, defensive subs and moving around.
The Dodgers felt a little sleepy this year. They didn't make the big splash in free agency, which some people thought they might. Other people were wondering, were they just saving for Ohtani next year? We talked a lot about the second baseman, Vargas, before the season. And is he going to be Rookie of the Year? Is he next? He really hasn't been that. Gavin Lux out for the year. Walker Buehler yet to pitch. Dustin May went out for the year. Walker Buehler might be coming back, by the way. The Dodgers are as set up as the Dodgers normally are. And I don't think that's going to change. Obviously, knock on wood, you could say injury for any team can derail you. It's lining up for Dodgers Braves. It's baseball. Teams can be a threat. The Phillies are the one that stands out the most. Milwaukee, kind of like an inverted Philly. Feels like they could pitch you to death if they really wanted to and get hot at the right time. I don't know. I think it's a Dodgers-Braves NLCS. I think that would be a little bit of a cherry on top to some of the past few seasons with these two teams dueling. The NL is lined up pretty good. The AL is still a mess, man. And I think as we've been circling around for a little bit, if you had to pick one of those teams out of the mess, it's Houston. Just because they've done it. Although they still haven't fully hit the go switch yet. But I know Altuve just had a hit streak. Verlander's been fine for them. What do they have coming up? Oh, I'm still on the Dodgers. They have Milwaukee and Miami. Houston, let's see. What's their hot stretch going to be? At Miami. Houston's really good, man. Framber, Javier, Verlander, JP France, or Urquidy. God. They're good. Kyle Tucker, Fangraphs, has the 6th best baseball player this season. Jordan is back. Bregman, Altuve. Second half of their lineup's still funky. Yainer Diaz, who's been really good. John Singleton filling in right now. McCormick. Jeremy Pena's had a weird year. Not great, Bob. Is anyone going to come back? Is Michael Brantley out for the season? That's a tough ask. Michael Brantley approaching rehab assignment. Would you look at... How do you like that?
Shoulder surgery last August. All right, that makes sense. Like a year out.
And then we'll see if Jose Abreu ever comes back for them. Well, I don't know. I might have more time to enjoy some of these teams a little more with the Yankees being bad. That's not exciting, but it is at the same time. I guess I'm excited to see who from the American League is going to win us over before the end of the season. Because sure, Houston's lurking. They're always lurking. But one of these teams, maybe it's the Texas Rangers. Maybe I don't respect them enough. They've been really good. They've kept Houston in their rear view all year. Just don't let what happened with the Mets last year happen to you this year. Houston's 2.5 back.
That is too close.
If they just clip them at one point.
I'm sure they still play each other at least one more time, right?
Let's see. It looks like they've got a 3-gamer in September. That's it. In Texas. That'll be fun. God, I like Seattle too. Hey, Texas Rangers fans, your guys' team is awesome. I love the Rangers. Stop listening to Wake and Jake right now. Texas's last 10 games, 7 are against Seattle.
A few weeks ago, it looked like a much more pleasant end of the year.
Oh, God. Reminder, Seattle's playing better. Reminder, Seattle has 7 games against Kansas City, 3 versus the White Sox, 6 versus Oakland.
Yeah.
And they finish, God. Texas for 3, Houston for 3, Texas for 4. Buckle up in the AL West. Little West Coast episode today. We may have Foolish on Wednesday. We may have something else. Funky up today. Thank you, guys. Love. L.